You're watching the Chaos Protocol on Transplanar RPG, an all-transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to our Patreon to support the show and get access to a patron-only after-show, early podcast episodes, GM notes, character sheets, and even the chance for your tabletop OC to cameo in our series. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include heights and falling, vast bodies of water, complex relationships, fantasy violence, blood, body horror, alcohol, food and eating, and interpersonal conflict. The Arc 3 Interlude, Part 1, The Bar at the End of the World. As the moon finally trembles to a halt in that black lake we call the sky, all of Inferno releases a collective breath. The Mayday traffic jamming 8th Street and Salvation Avenue, the wilting censors in House Ula's shadow-soaked temples, the caffeinated academics of Inferno University, the proud Kuatuni griddle jockeys in countless congested diners, the late-night construction workers bearing shrikes upon beaten helmets, the paint-streaked taggers of House Trakar brightening brick and mortar with hissing canisters, all of Inferno releases a collective breath. And here, upon the Inferno Bridge, time returns to its regular schedule. The bullet train hurtles down its destructive track, moving so quickly that the mortal eye mistakes it for nothing more than a silver blur. Cars honk, motorbikes roar, guttering tailpipes cough out dizzying fumes, and far, far below, the Red River churns like a willing artery denied the simple pleasure of a bite. Leaning over the railing, their fingers gripping the cold and unforgiving steel, is Strike Team Phoenix. Their eyes are wide, their faces arrested by ebullitions of contrasting emotion. Amaru is shell-shocked and fearful, Cove doubly so. The placid ice of Ash's demeanor is cracked and strained. Even Naeem's brow twists, darkened by sweat and premonition, the final words of that ghost he has tried and failed to exorcise for 10 years ringing in his ears. The ringing refuses to subside even as the impossible portal snaps shut, or does it collapse shut? Or is it swallowed shut by an undulation of water, a dream within a dream? All Naeem knows is that one moment the portal is there, a hole in reality, a door that does not look like a door, a tear in the fabric of the journey, and then it's gone, and with it, Strike Team Nova. Green eyes flashing, Cove turns to Naeem. What do we do now? And just like that, all eyes are on him. Naeem swallows his fear and cages his uncertainty, and with painful precision, he peels his fingers away from the icy railing until his hands are flush against his sides in a perfect picture of the composed syndicate agent. We've done what we can. They made their choice. Now we follow the Saint home. Phoenix follows Naeem's gaze to the hand of fate. Artemis stands on the walkway behind them, conversing in low and steady tones with the heir to House Trakar. The moonlight bathes them both in a mortal and divine glow, and for a second, Naeem isn't sure what he's looking at, only that it is not the moon, and it is most certainly not the sun. Then, Artemis turns their face, and those misplaced eyes meet his. It's time. A shiver runs through the spirit caller. They turn back to their strike team and offer a somber nod, and with one final look at the churning river below, Strike Team Phoenix turns away from the railing, and with it, Inferno. Strike Team Nova. You are falling. And then you are not. You are on your feet, upright, or at least you think you are. It's hard to tell without light, or maybe there is light because you can certainly see each other, Xainan, Lumièra, Seir, Yinghe, even Kimani, each of you as visible and apparent as though the sun were right above your heads, or maybe below your heads, or somewhere off to the side of your heads. Either way, you're not sure where you are. It exists. Of that much you are almost certain. After all, how else could you be experiencing all of this nothingness? This everythingness. This somethingness. Yes, this somethingness, an unempty gap between the infinite planes of existence. Because that's where you are. You can feel it. Every atom in your unsung body can feel it. This liminal cosmic space, this breath beyond breath. You are inside the threads between the journey, and threads here is immensely accurate. Strings of light, of sound, of thought, vibration, gravity, hope, love, luck, death, blood, mist, fire. Strings of every configuration and possibility percolate downward, upward, sideways, beneath your ever-roaming feet, between your antlers, through your wasted arm, across your scarred head. These strings are as wide as molecules and galaxies, as long as sentences and heat deaths. They possess enough weight to crush your soul into 1,000 reincarnations, and they possess no weight at all. They are the dark within all light, and the light within all dark. They are the threads woven by fate, the gaps created by oblivion, the songs plucked by magic. If the journey is a cosmic quilt of different realities woven into, between, and against each other by passionate and expert hands, then you are in the space between filaments that is also flesh, that is also fabric, that is also void. You don't know what will happen if you reach out and touch one of these threads. You don't know what will happen if you slowly ambulate, or if you sprint, or if you do nothing at all. Maybe nothing would happen. Maybe everything would happen. Maybe it's all random chance, or maybe all of this has been preordained. Here, in the threads between, it is impossible to tell. Kimani, it's been some time since we last saw you. How have you changed?
Well, that patchwork coat that she had is now more of a windbreaker, bomber jacket combination, and those patches are slashes, more integrated, more whole. Black pants, some boots, and a smile on her face. This place feels good.
Kimani, following closely behind you is Strike Team Nova, who have changed a lot since you last saw them. Yinghe, still garbed in modern Hanfu, their blood-red Huadian glistening, stumbles breathlessly after you. Their silver eyes are wide in wonderment and disbelief, and their voice comes out in a confused tumble. Where are we?
Are you asking me, or is that more of a ambient question?
No, that was definitely addressed toward you.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've gotten a chance to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Kimani, not to you all, to you.
Yinghe reaches out a hand toward your outstretched palm and uncertainly shakes it,
It's a long
as
story.
though worried your touch would burn them. But when it doesn't, they clasp it more strongly and they give you a firm shake. Hello, I'm Yinghe. Kind of a part of Nova. There was a trial run and but, well, I think things are different now.
Yeah, I kind of am catching that vibe. A co-worker of mine asked me to get you all out of that hairy situation. And now we're here. I like to call this place a co-worker that I really, really like a lot, and I think is always listening.
Nova? And you hear Lumièra, but you don't see her. Where Lumièra was, it is just now. At first, it's almost as bright as a supernova, but then the light dims a bit, and where she was is now just a constellation of stars. Hundreds, thousands, millions of them, where she was scattered across whatever this is. What's going on? What is this? And it's very disembodied for quite a bit. And what you see is these stars start to form back into the shape of Lumièra. She doesn't completely corporealize like you know her. It's just an outline of starlight. Her left hand and the side of her face, what you know, the side of her face, the right side, is brighter than any star, any sun you've ever seen. You almost have to cover your eyes before it dims down. She remembers that lesson from Artemis. She's confused and scared at first, but then she remembers, let it come to you. Don't find it. Naturally, it will be for you. And so she forms back into an outline of herself, but she just exists as pure starlight. What? Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yes.
do you feel?
She's looking down at her hands, at her body, trying to figure out what it is that's happening to her here in this space, this weird space in the journey.
Lumièra, in this state, you both have eyes and you don't, but for some reason you can perceive this new and ancient form that you're in. You can sense that you are woven, sung into starlight. And there's a humming, a kind of vibration within you and without you, resonating through all of these threads. You can see it like a quivering, a tremolo through all of these strings all around you. It wavers, and there's a part of you that feels close to fear, and there's a part of you that feels close to awe, but overwhelmingly, you are struck by the beauty of this place. Because whatever it is, wherever it is, whenever it is brimming with magic.
What is this?
Can you hear that? Do you see it?
We see Xainan. The colors passing over him, almost like someone slowly painting in a brush of lavender over his tan skin of a vampire, layer upon layer, as it just streaks across him, and he reaches out for Lumièra, but looks to Kimani, searches their face. He is so afraid, but he is trying to be brave. 1,000 questions in his eyes for you, Kimani. What is this? And he reaches towards Lumièra, but the question isn't for this starlight. It is for Kimani. Where are we?
Kimani has the most melancholic smile on her face, looking at Lumièra, and then he turns to you. This is the in-between.
Between what?
Between what?
Everything. Everywhere. Every place you've ever been, every place you ever will be, all to the place that we are not. Outstretches their arms.
Seir steps forward, eyes glistening in Lumièra's moonlight. He finds it hard to look away from you on a normal occasion, but now he cannot tear his eyes away. We see his lion-like tail swishing in interest at the space all around us, his antlers pointing forward like a crown of thorns, navigating between the drapes of threads like magic. He still wears the Inferno leather jacket and plain red shirt. He steps into this place, and suddenly, blossoming all around his antlers, is a brand new bouquet of flowers. His clothes strip away to that white, asymmetrical kurta, the black and gold jacket he wears at trance, his face from the wild sea. Orchids blossoming in full bloom on that one night that they bloom in what feels like a millennia. Hibiscus glittering in the starlight, blooming, beautiful, radiant, nightshade framing his entire head. The amaranth that is around and holding his crown, stable, sturdy, but not in full bloom. They seem to be halted, curious. And of course the cherry blossoms. They are bright pink, beautiful, and fossilized. Cracks within the stems, frozen in time when they were once incredibly beautiful, perhaps their most beautiful. But we see the petals dry, we see the cracks within the stems, and we see it there at the edge of withering, but the memory keeps them alive. It must keep them alive. Seir's heart has been thrumming against his chest since the leap, since the fall, and now here. And really, there's only one question that matters to Seir in this moment. When he saw the moon herself look upon him the final moments before the portal shut behind Nova. Kimani, how are you here?
Great question.
The greatest huntress of all of existence was set for you.
Oh. Yeah, okay, so it was interesting. She's very scary.
Yes.
And we were this
really.
close to erasing me from everything, everywhere, all at once, all the time. And then she changed her mind, I think.
You
What do you mean she changed her mind?
What?
you think?
Well, I'm not dead. Well, I'm not
Obviously.
erased. So she changed her mind. Have you ever been, like, close to nothingness, death, see a reflection of your own mortality almost at the end of the road, and then you don't?
Strangely, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Your hand of fate, Artemis, almost, it kind of feels like a deal, kind of feels like a thing that you don't really have a choice to do. I do favors, and in exchange for not only being alive, I get to know things, like, about all of this.
What kind of things exactly are we talking about here?
Capital F fate. That was interesting. Ooh. The multiverse, magic. Well, not magic, but
What do you know about magic?
No, but you work for Artemis.
Kind of. It's more of a quid pro quo thing. I do a job.
Anyways, answer Lumièra's question. And Xainan steps forward, and as he does, the leather jacket peels off of him and almost strips, like mist falling off. And he steps forward, and as he does, he steps into a kimono. Haori, the band of his hat from from Inferno, from the all glitch, and suddenly he is in Yaolan, in the city of heaven, wearing tassels on his hat, a birdsong bow drifting behind him in his hand. Magic.
Well, I wasn't talking about that magic, but yes, all of it. I get to read now about stuff from the Syndicate, and
Where exactly is this? What are... Okay.
I have coworkers, if that makes it more verifiable.
More than Artemis?
Coworkers more than Artemis?
I thought the coworker you mentioned earlier was Artemis.
No,
That's what I thought.
no, Artemis is not the evil coworker that I have. Artemis is the scary coworker.
Evil
They're
coworker.
different?
They
Artemis is not
are
scary.
different. They are very different. Artemis is like really intense, and like, you know, it feels like my atoms are gonna split apart and I become nothingness. And like, there's something like kind of cool about that. My evil coworker shows up in my dreams, my happy place, and just, I swear she just wants to piss me off, which I'm not gonna let her do. She's evil because she's evil to me, not because, like, you know, morally. Well, no, she's mean. She's mean. She's my mean evil coworker. I don't like her. I'll admit it. I don't like her.
Who is she?
Her name's Lilith. She's like got this like platinum blonde thing. It's fine. She shows up in my dreams and she told me to come get you all.
This who
I'm
sent you
going
for the
to-
books?
No, the books and okay, so when I showed up at the Syndicate, that was also a dream, but she was not there. It's my life is weird and hard to explain, and I think you all would be the closest to kind of understanding it, but it still feels like we're miles and miles and galaxies apart.
Excuse me. Forgive us for just coming through all of this right now. And Lumièra will gesture wildly to the space that we currently are in, and atop of her head, it's almost another bright light before it starts to dim and corporealize. and a sun halo wraps around the top of her head. And she stares at you with all of the intent and seriousness in this world. I need you to be so unbelievably descriptive right now about exactly who you saw, what they said, and how any of this is even possible.
Sure. I'm sure you all are disoriented a little bit right now.
A bit.
Traveling between worlds is never easy on the body.
You think?
I know. Yeah, so I go around doing things for Artemis. They seem kind of innocuous for the most part. And I get told truths about, well, literally all of this as Kimani outstretches their hands towards the infinite nothingness and everything. There is a look of almost peace that maybe shouldn't come with looking at everything all at once. Look, when I showed up at the Syndicate, I was kind of wandering aimlessly. I'm sure you kind of caught that.
Yeah.
But the more things I do for Artemis, the more I kind of get to understand my place in all of this a little bit. Separately from all of this, I'm trying to find my way home. So I'm kind of willing to do everything, anything, whatever is needed to get answers.
Back up that
understand
cliff.
that.
The cliff you jumped off of.
Yeah, and sometimes it means I'm jumping off of the cliff and helping some folks that look a little familiar get to where they need to go. I'm supposed to take you to the bar.
The bar.
When you
A what?
When you say bar, when you say home, Kimani, the rigidity of Seir's spine softens. The edges of and sharpness that this antlered man has shown toward you melts away. And understanding blooms in its place. And as Seir moves about the space, hearing you speak about the quilt, these threads, these filaments, they realize two core truths at exactly the same time. That they've just left their home, and they will never know if they'll ever get back to their home, to the statue of their sister, or to the place where every formed everything about him, right? And the second truth, the scarier truth, is that Artemis trusts you. And Artemis is operating on an entirely different level than we had first known. And suspicions and more questions bloom in the place. Why does it feel that everything that has come to pass she has foreseen in some way? What do they know? Did they prepare me for this? What is going on? And as Seir is thinking through all of this, he feels their weight against the filament and the thread buckling underneath them, and feeling the thread strain, taut, fraying a little bit, and they stop themselves. Through these movements, the kurta and the jacket peel away. Forming in its place is a black kurta unfurling out of the void and darkness of this place with intricate chikan embroidery. The antlers grow large, and Seir's face is not Seir's face. It is a stag's head, made with deep, dark fur and a single red thread pulling down one side of his antlers, draping downwards, torn asunder. And he looks up, and there is a strange glistening like a mirror on the floor, and he realizes.
Seir, as you see your own reflection underneath you, above you, your head that is not a head, the antlers that are not antlers, this stag-like face that is your own visage, you feel it. Your connection with doom. And just as Lumièra felt something else and saw those beautiful vibrations through all of the threads between the journey, you too feel something, but it is not beauty. It is the destruction that brims within you. You can sense it. All these threads all around you, you know innately that if you're not careful here, one wrong move, one wrong shake of your antlers, one wrong twist of your finger, and you could pull these threads apart, rend them to pieces, tear them, doom them all.
And there is an impulsive thought that flickers in Seir's mind of, what if I try? What would happen? What would that feel like? What would that look like? But instead, they stand stock still.
Until Xainan brushes away some of that red thread, and we see him standing in a leather jacket, motorcycle pants, a flat brim hat, no tassels, sunglasses, a plaid shirt tied around his waist, from Earth. But as he steps out of that, he brushes past this thread and just kind of brushes it aside, and in that one wipe, he encounters 1,000 things all at once. But as he steps forward, it's not a foot, and he stops and looks down as a long avian leg steps forward, and another long, dark navy legs with claws at the end. He looks at his arms, and they are an array of feathers. As Xainan steps forward, he is a secretary bird. Head to toe, bright feathers behind his head, heterochromia in this case being one entirely green eye, one entirely orange eye on the sides of his avian form.
Lumièra looks over to Kimani, the sun halo bright sitting around her head. So, Artemis gave you or told you to look out for us, and she steps forward closer to you, Kimani. And when she steps forward, sprouting from her shoulders down deep across her back and flowing out far behind her is a long, heavy almost, it looks like, robe that sits over her shoulders. It's inky black, and the closer she walks to you, you realize it is raven's feathers, a mantle of them that sits proudly on her shoulders, cocked as she moves, and it moves with her as she steps to you. You see, when she gets right within your, close enough to you, her eyes, those eyes that are, you know, they're so expressive, they're so bright, they tell everything about her. You watch in time as her pupils split. And she looks at you intently.
Kimani has been looking at each one of you as your transformations emerge, looking into your eyes. They notice the realizations that Seir makes. They look at the hesitancy that Xainan still walks with, and the curiosity brimming from Lumièra. Though, before answering question, Kimani looks up and down and says, "You look like some heroes I used to read about."
What are you talking about? She is clueless. Does not even realize the changes and transformations that have happened to her in this moment. I look the same as I've always have.
I believe that. And to answer your question, no, Artemis was not the one that pushed me to come get you all. That was Lilith.
Who is Lilith?
That one I don't have a lot of answers for. I wish I could tell you. But she, let's call her a dream walker. At least my dreams. My dreams tend to lead me places. And lately, they've been getting more than literal. It's how me and Lilith communicate. I have a clue that it's kind of like a telephone thing. Artemis probably gives Lilith information, likely, if I had to guess, through Artemis's dreams. And then Lilith brings them to me.
Wait,
so
Artemis
you're
is
the
working for
lowest
someone
ranked
else?
Coworker.
No. Huh? Yes, you know.
I see.
No, well, what did you say? Sorry.
So Artemis is working with someone else. Not just the other hands, not just fate. And this makes all of the feathers on the back of Xainan's head kind of splay out further, and you can see what was just relaxed bird feathers all suddenly spine up a little as he steps forward and grows in shape. Humanoid, but still this secretary bird.
From what I understand about the everything of the Syndicate, I would say we're in separate camps. Me, Lilith, are scouts, errand boys, while Artemis still does her duties.
So there are more of you. A whole network of you.
Well, right now there's two. That's the ones I know about. But yeah, I hope so.
So there's some
So
truths
Artemis
you don't know.
slash this Lilith person told you to take us to a bar?
Yes, the bar at the end of the world. Nice place, great food.
At this
Will we be
point,
safe there?
I can't imagine anywhere that's safer than in between all of your woes.
as Seir steps through this place carefully, each step a whisper. Their clothes shift once more. The black, almost like blue that's almost black kurta shifts, and we see baggy trouser pants, like kurta trouser pants, leading up to Seir's distinct white asymmetric kurta, but a black and white cape-esque jacket. The stag head shifts back to Seir's face, but it's not his black wavy curls that we see, but a white mane, just like his sister's, looms out of his head down past his shoulders,
Why is this happening, actually?
glistening in the light. He has a empty longsword scabbard on his right hand side, and patience sheathed on his left. And Seir turns around to you, Kimani, to say, if Artemis has placed their faith in you, and you know that this place is safe, Then I trust this. And I trust you. And looks at the other people's reactions to his form. What do Xainan and Lumièra see when they look at Seir?
Wildly enough, Lumièra, she hasn't necessarily taken in the changes, honestly, per se. And they slowly start to materialize in front of her. This entire time, you and Xainan have looked like you and Xainan to her. And I think now she's actually looking at the both of you and starting to realize maybe it's that second pupil that's giving her that additional oomph to see you. And you see her reach deep into her pocket where you all know that she keeps her pocket watch. It is warm to the touch. It's actually starting to get hot, like it's starting to burn a bit. And she kind of pulls out the chain and shakes it out. And she sees you, Seir, and all the different iterations of you, almost transposed on top of each other. All the different transformations you've had, but your outline, you, what she knows, is still the same. And you see her grip her pocket watch like she does so many times. She starts to cry, but she doesn't realize it. Tears streak down her face, but they branch off into a different section and fall further down, gracing around the sides of her cheeks.
Lumièra? What's the matter?
I hear something. And she looks at her pocket watch. And even you all see it. The cover of it glows. It was a smooth surface previously. But slowly but surely you start to see an emblem that is carved out, almost as if time itself is reversing the wear over her pocket watch. And you see a beautiful, intricate fox that's carved on the cover of it. This is... And you hear this deep exhale, a sigh, a tension that releases from her shoulders that she doesn't even... It was almost like the heaviness of the raven's feathers that sits on her shoulders are no longer as heavy. She stands just a bit taller. You're just Seir. You always have been, and you always will be. My Seir.
Seir, looking at Lumièra, those tears that stream down her face and split, they almost seem moonlit and biomechanical at the same time, something robotic yet divine within the way the tears spill. And Lumièra, the pocket watch, burns you in a beautiful, unpainful way. Just the heat of the magic, the thrumming of the song. that resonates within it. And as that sigil carves itself back into being, that intricate fox, you hear this song somewhere in the distance. In this space between, in these threads between, there is a song somewhere in the distance that has always been inside you. That you have forgotten, perhaps, but could be excavated. And you know the words. You know the words to it. You don't remember them, but you also do. They're on the tip of your tongue. Somewhere here in the space between, connected to every part of the journey that ever was, is, and will be, you can feel it. Singing.
And I think the gasp Lumièra takes in that moment is startling almost. And you see her attention go elsewhere, off in the direction of where she hears the song. The journey itself starts to formulate in front of her. And she sees these gold threads that are just all interconnected, woven together. And she can't help but reach out and try to touch it. It's like it calls her.
As your hand reaches out and your finger extends forward, your palm reaches toward that golden thread, toward that vibrating, humming song, and then your fingers go through it. Perhaps it was that the thread was farther away than you thought, some sort of optical illusion, a mirage, or maybe it was so large and wide that your attempt to touch it moved only a single atom to the left. But regardless, as your fingers pass through it, you feel it like a loom inside of you, as though your soul were made from fabric. Your own hand harping its way down the ridges of your bones, and you feel yourself humming with this song. And as you traverse the threads between, alongside Xainan and Seir and Yinghe and Kimani, all of you begin to glimpse objects populating your field of vision. These objects are partially shaded by the infinite strings around you, like figures hidden behind a dense waterfall, but some of them you can see in stark detail. You pass a familiar iron street lamp, one of thousands from Inferno's tree-lined boulevards. The electric light is on and buzzing, producing a dull hum that is oddly comforting amidst all this uncertainty. You even see stickers plastered all over the metal, depicting local companies and bands, including a familiar paw-shaped silhouette that represents the Lazy Bear Pub and Grill. And just as your eyes fall on this street lamp, you also notice an altar in the near distance, a regal shrine carved from sandalwood and jade with a noble statue of a god surrounded by mist carved from coral. And your memories all light up in tandem. This is the likeness of the immortal emperor, Long Du, devourer of the devouring, grand adjudicator of the game, sovereign on high of Yaolan, the amethyst dragon. And then a smell catches your attention. An earthy, pungent, spicy smell like the broken arm of a pine tree. It awakens something within each of you, the rustling of leaves, the crackling of fire. And then you notice it, rising out of the threads around you, a large, crooked tree bent over like an old fisherwoman casting a net. Deep cracks in the trunk ooze the unmistakable amber hue of Krezerin. And more of these objects rise all around you, not just remnants from Inferno, from the City of Heaven, from the Wild Sea, but from all across the journey. You see a abandoned tire here, some sort of strange, massive stone titan in the distance there. The threads between is an infinite comma, a cosmic junkyard of stray vestiges from the journey, forgotten relics from remembered realms. And as you follow Kimani through the threads between, you can feel the journey itself touching your soul, pulling this secretary bird feather into existence across Xainan's visage, wicking into form the antlers and the stag head upon Seir, casting starlight and infinite divinity across Lumièra's body. We even see Yinghe's Hanfu flowing outward, breaking free of its tight modern silhouette as the magic of the city of heaven washes over them. And then, as the smell of Krezerin greets your noses, we see leaves and twigs dotting Yinghe's hair. As they walk, they're spinning around in wonder, staring wide-eyed at these relics, and as they spin, we see them transform into a shadow-colored crane. They spin again, and their body is covered in some sort of skin-tight latex suit with a heroic emblem across the front and a half-mask across the top part of their head. And as they spin one more time, you all see them with a wide-brimmed hat resembling a wandering knight errant, a flowing half-cape behind their back, and a blade of pure shadow strapped to their waist. And eventually, your party arrives at a door. It is a plain bamboo sliding door with parchment stretched across a wooden frame. Nothing remarkable at all, but there is movement beyond the parchment. Light and shadows in the vague shape of people flitting to and fro. There's sound, too, voices, murmuring, too distant to make out words. The clinking of glasses, the scraping of chairs. Your party draws to a halt in front of this wooden sliding door, and all of you can feel it now, how different this object is, how important, how much of a destination it is. And Kimani, you're getting that feeling again that you always do, that slight itch behind your soul when you know you can't stay in one place for much longer. It's time. You're muted.
And she's been looking at you all this entire time, fixated. It's funny what a couple months can do. You all are not the people I left in that chase. And I doubt you'll be the same people when I see you again.
We will see you again. Right.
I don't think I have much of a choice. But if I did,
Xainan.
I would.
Xainan steps, I think, up last. And he's wearing soft clothes with texture of patches and another kimono, one made entirely of memory. And he walks past a table covered in dust. And from there, he picks up a jacket, shakes it off a few times, puts it on. Well, thank you for saving us, for intervening, for showing up right on time this time instead of last time where it was different.
I think showing up is what I do.
Mom, I trust you. And she says this, like, rolling her eyes a bit. And when she rolls her eyes, you start to see some of the changes of her start to settle. That sun halo dims down to a dark, flat brim hat. That mantle of raven's feathers that sat across her back starts to shrink and fit more to her body until you see what was once feathers are now fringes of a deep leather jacket that hangs across her shoulders. I trust you because Artemis trusts you.
I appreciate that. Where I come
Seir,
from? No, please.
Seir looks at you, and as he steps on forward, he watches his hands vibrate with every different possibility of what they could be, or what they might have been, or could be. And Seir shakes it off And as all of those forms flit away, none of them feeling right, all of them feeling right, the possibilities endless for one who does not know what path they ought to take. And bubbling out of existence from that white asymmetric kurta is a white henley. And draping down over it a pinstriped waistcoat that he wears that's taut to his body, and a leather harness that is tied tightly around his body. He has a deer buckle and deer antlers hanging off of his belt. And sprouting from the antlers are metal plates that shift and move, covering the antlers, turning them cybernetic. A single red wire twisted down one of them, and a long swishing tail with blue glowing wires cybernetically swishing beneath and between metal plates. And a black sclera with glowing blue eyes and white tears streaked down his face. I have so many questions for you, Kimani. But I know you know not the answer, or you do not know how to answer. So I'll let you off the hook for now. How's that sound?
Oh, that's a load off my chest. Thank you.
Next time I expect answers. And Lumièra winks at you, and you notice that in that wink, the eye that she winks, the eye that's still open, the two pupils instantly fuse together into dark black scleras when she opens up the next one, and she just grins at you. Both of those pupils fuse back together too. Thank you.
Well, I hope it'll be
Deeply.
over dinner. And
I'll
Kimani
hold you to
takes a box out of her pocket. It's the box you all saw when you were chasing after him in the syndicate, and tosses it to Lumièra. I was told to give that to you. I don't really know what it does.
To me. And I think when she grabs it, her left arm that was brittled in sunlight, as well as the right side of her face, starts to corporealize. And you see clock gears start to form on the side of her face and up her arm. I'll hold on to this. What's inside? Lumièra's gonna kind of crack the top open to peek, or shake it. And what's inside here?
It is about an inch thick metal black rod. It's a rod. I couldn't figure out how it works. Usually things come to me. That one wasn't it. But I thank you all for trusting me. I mean, I trusted you.
Yes, and Lumièra, when you shook the box, even though Kimani had said it was about an inch long, just plain metal rod, you didn't hear any clattering. So it must be padded in some way inside the box.
She'll stick it in the pocket of her jacket. Pat the
Nice.
pocket.
Well, have fun in the bar, and Nova. Being lost is not a weakness. It is not inherently sad, though it feels it. I hope you'll think about it as an opportunity. And when I see you next, maybe we'll have jackets for the Hitchhiker's Club. And she looks like she's about to cry.
Kimani. And Xainan steps forward. That jacket seems to have almost destabilized what he looks like. He is blurry, lavender still, but everything else seems a bit of a mess. But he steps towards Kimani, to this hitchhiker, to this person that kind of held a place of anxiety for Xainan that was unfair to Kimani, really. Thank you for saving us, but also, if you ever need a place to be, please come find us.
I'll add you to the list. Hey, Seir. Watch this. And then Kimani turns around and snaps her fingers. And just like when you were on Earth, hundreds of doors open up. But they are not unstable. You can feel that Kimani is completely in control of this. Each door goes somewhere different, anywhere that she can imagine, anywhere that she wants.
How on earth did you do that?
What the fuck?
It seems learning about the journey helps me do a few things.
Wait, no, you can't just leave. You have to teach me that.
I wish I could, dear. And under her is a door that opens, almost like a trap door, almost like she is falling upwards, upside down. And if you look, you see her falling through the sky. She is leaving, but she's waving. See ya, besties!
Kimani, wait, no!
And at the same time, at the same time as Kimani flies upward and upside down, the wooden sliding door in front of you whoosh, swooshes open, and some great force shoves your party through the door, and there's a whoosh as it slams shut behind you. And Strike Team Nova, you find yourselves inside the bar at the end of the world. Standing before you is the interior to a bustling izakaya, a late-night saloon full of people from all walks of life. Some folks sit on small stools at low wooden tables, clinking shochu glasses and digging into pan-fried octopus legs. Others sit cross-legged at elevated booths, talking cheerfully over plates of yakimochi and fried lotus chips. Still others sit by themselves at the bar, nursing beer and whiskey, drinking away a long, hard day of work. The patrons of this establishment are varied and diverse. Some have dark brown skin, others gray or red, and still others possess feathers or fur or scales or a combination thereof. Their clothes, too, range from leather vests to plastic suits to synthetic robes that shimmer under the warm-blooded light cast by low-hanging lanterns. You see eyes and horns, tails and claws, neon paint and cybernetic enhancements, prosthetics, helmets, gaskets and valves, bandoliers bristling with gadgets, floating holograms. A long, horizontal window dominates the west wall and reveals a breathtaking landscape. A dazzling night sky brims with infinite stars and swirling oceans of cosmic dust. The building that you're in sits atop a rocky slope populated by dull yellow moss, and these hills roll downward toward a distant cliff's edge, beyond which a black ocean churns, reflecting the endless stars in its heaving waves. Throughout these hills, parked at irregular intervals, are spaceships. Some are old, industrial behemoths with rusted metal panels and hardened veins of iron. Others are small and sporty with wings of sunlit chrome and fashionable detailing. There's something else beyond the window, too. Something in the sky. A dark spot among distant stars, an empty space where there should be light, a vacuum where there should be sound, but it's so far off that you barely notice it. A blip on the horizon, really, a thumbtack's worth of worry. A black spot you can push to the back of your mind and ignore, at least for now. And as the sliding door slams shut behind your party, we hold on each of you taking in this sudden wealth of activity and possibility. And as we land on each of your faces, I want to get a snapshot of your reactions to arriving, starting with Seir.
Seir's first reaction is a deep exhale, being shunted through space and arriving here in space. Eyes glitter, looking at the galactic scape around him. It feels like the observatory, and a pang hits the inside of his chest. Like home, like the observatory, but he moves quickly past it, shifting forward, smelling food, and Seir feels uncomfortable, plagued with questions. In his mind, he's rattling off what is going on. What did Artemis intend? What did they plan? And is it still going to plan? Fuck, why was Kimani so cool? Shit!
And we pan over to Lumièra.
Lumièra's eyes, those two peoples that now fused into one wide black sclera, are looking around everything and everywhere. Her eyes are still just as expressive and as curious as you remember them always being, but this feels different. So she just takes in all of her surroundings, and the last parting look that you see on her face is mixed emotions. One of doubt, one of fear, wonderment, awe, and something else that's tinted right behind her eyes. But you can't make out just what that is just yet.
We pan over to Xainan.
Xainan stumbles forward, like he's finally standing on ground for the first time since we left the bridge. That shunting was very grounding, in a place that was like being in a fun house for him. And as he finally takes in the sound, the smell, the sights of it, this feels normal? We'll start with normal. And we see him stand upright, that jacket still on him. He's got goggles and a wrap on as he straightens out his hat. There is loose fabric and a familiar carrion crow feather tucked into it. As he looks around, feeling finally like they've stopped running for a second. This place feels like a place that he can disappear in and be normal for a second. And the last thing he feels is very hungry as the smells finally fill his nose. Ugh.
There is a... Go ahead, say your line, say your line.
That one smells delicious.
And there is a noise that sounds like the growling of a great beast in your midst, and you realize it's coming from Yinghe's stomach as they very suddenly put a hand up to the middle of their torso, and we see fingernails that are painted this like rich lavender, this rich purple. As they slowly bring their hand up to the side of their face, they blink, and we see black scleras in both of their eyes as well, and irises that are bright, bright moonlit silver. And their hua dian, which was crimson before, is now the same shade of lavender and purple as their fingernails, as their lips. And their hanfu, the modern silhouette, has now billowed out to be slightly wider, and there are tassels hanging off at the edges of it. No, not tassels, but Chinese-style knots with long swaying sashes in the place of tassels. And their long black hair is braided in a big bunch down their back. They look over at you, Xainan, as though sensing your hunger, like recognizing like in this moment. And they nod. You see their tongue dart out and wet their lips. I still obviously have a lot of questions about what's happening, as I'm sure all of you do as well, but how about we grab a booth maybe and get some food?
I'm hungry. Yes, please.
I could eat.
Food'll do us good.
And with that, Nova, you walk carefully but perceptively deeper into this bar at the end of the world. So do you try to grab a booth in the middle of everything, like a booth at the very back of the bar? Do you sit at the bar? Where are y'all headed?
Xainan's looking for a place to be discreet.
Seir's taking Xainan's lead, like just turning over to Xainan, who feels like a man who would know how to navigate a cool-ass bar like this. I mean, he's dressed for the part. He feels always at home here, and Seir kind of like steps back and lets Xainan take the lead.
I think it's definitely one of those things where we finally settle, and then me and you, Seir, look at each other, and then we look to Xainan expectantly.
And in this place, he assumes that role, that scout, that first to walk. And Xainan does a very quick sweep of the bar before moving towards somewhere kind of unnoticed, maybe near the windows, just to be tucked away. And as we see him walk, you hear the sound of heavy boots, not cowboy boots at all, but rather thick-soled, metal-toed, industrial-looking boots. Xainan looks very different, and yet somehow he moves like this is still the same things clinging to him still from the threads, probably.
Strike Team Nova, you follow Xainan's heavy-booted lead toward the west wall, and you tuck yourselves into a kind of hidden booth in one corner of the bar. The window to your side revealing this massive cosmic vista of rolling mossy hills underneath you, that big cliff and that huge ocean in the distance, and above your heads just an endless array of bright silver stars. And Strike Team Nova, now that you are situated inside the bar at the end of the world, it is time to draw your starting hand. So in this system of my own design, each of you is defined by your emblem, which is a card that represents your journey so far. Seir, you are the chariot. You will draw from the deck of clubs and spades. Lumièra, you are the star. You draw from the deck of diamonds and hearts. And Xainan, you are the hanged man. You draw from the deck of spades and diamonds. Since there are 3 of you as players and 1 of me as your willing bartender, please draw 4 cards total to create your starting hand. Now, each of these cards relates to a question that you all have access to, and at any point, any of you may play a card and address its question to another player or to myself as the bartender. You decide how this question is addressed, whether in character, out of character, or some wondrous combination. Either way, the target must answer honestly, whether in character, out of character, or some wondrous combination. After you ask your question, you must discard 2 cards from your hand, including the question card, and then you draw 2 new cards. When someone plays a card that is also in your hand, or if you draw a card that has already been played, you must discard it and draw 1. Repetition is not allowed. Unless, of course, there's the Joker, but we'll see if that even comes up. For now, why don't you all draw 4, and we'll return to the bar at the end of the world. Each of you slides into this booth, take a moment to sit with each other, and your eyes fall on this low and plain wooden table. Your ears pick up on the hubbub of murmuring, occasional beer glasses clinking, laughing, low whispered talks. No one looks twice in your direction. In fact, no one looks twice in anyone else's direction. The overall sense of this bar is that people keep to themselves. There's a respect for privacy here.
The big exhale as Xainan finally sits in the booth, and he goes from standing very tall to relaxing more, consciously unwinding a little. He takes his hat off, he puts it on the table. Nova. We made it. Somewhere.
Fucking somewhere is right. Where the hell? And Seir's like looking out the window. I don't even know where we are. No clue.
I haven't had solid food in weeks.
Kept telling you to come to the diner. I would like to ask our first question.
Go ahead, old man. Go ahead.
For Lumièra, the 6 of diamonds. What weakness or vulnerability are you hiding from me?
Okay. Lumièra has always been the brave girl. She has always worn a strong face and an even bigger heart. She doesn't let much, or tries not to let much get to her, let alone much show, but you've known her since she was a little girl, Xainan. You know that there is one, always one, telltale signifier of Lumièra. It's her eyes. It always has been. And those black sclera that was once 2 pupils but now fused into one, and that one has an outline of the typical gray iris that you know is hers. You see something I don't think you have seen from her really since that first meeting at LSSG when you were assigned her mentor. She looks lost. She looks scared. But in a wild way that I don't even think any of us can pinpoint right now. Lumièra looks the most unburdened that you have ever seen her in all the decades that you've known her at this point.
Xainan soaks this in. There's a moment where her current face, this black sclera golden sunbursts in her eyes, pulls him in, and then he sees opal eyes on a young woman, a girl, really. He takes a deep breath, gratitude on his face. We're here. And he just nudges you from under the table.
Lumièra nudges you back. You hungry, Pop-Pop?
So hungry. Hope the food tastes as good as it smells.
If it doesn't, I'm gonna be very angry, and it's gonna be everybody's problem. And
Can't have
Lumièra
that.
looks up for a waiter or someone that can come take their order.
Yes, it's as though as soon as the thought enters your mind that you want a waiter is there. She is a short,
proud.
scrawny, and no funny business sort of server. Just immediately comes up with a holopad and a kind of like tablet pen tucked behind her ear that she immediately like whisks out without looking at the four of you. She goes, "All right, what'll you be having?"
Am I smelling some kind of curry?
Curry? All right. Yeah, sure. What kind?
What kind? What do you?
We've got all the kinds of curry. Anything you can think of, we'll whip it up. And if we don't have it, then, the chef will make do. We'll find the closest substitute.
Got any-
Lumièra is looking intently at the menu while all of this is happening, by the way.
There is no menu.
No menu?
Yeah, there is no
Okay.
menu. Nothing
Well,
written
Lumièra's
down here.
looking
It's just a waiter.
intently up into the ceiling as if she's thinking deeply.
I'll take a curry with, I don't know, a roasted leg of something. And
Yeah, okay. Curry with roasted leg is something. You want noodles or rice?
rice.
All right, rice. Okay, and what'll you have, young man?
And Seir looks at Lumièra, staring up into the ceiling. And then, hey, Lumièra, this
Right
isn't a
as-
question from the cars. This isn't a question from the cars. This is Seir, who has grown up with you, asking a question. What is your mood feeling like today?
You feel Lumièra very light on her feet. Yes, she's burdened and she's feeling heavy from all that's transposed, but you get a brighter feeling from her right now.
Seir blinks twice. You are really beautiful. And those clock gears, markings on the side of your face are radiant and lighting you within the gorgeous galactic lighting around us, and he feels like we're both at the observatory again in that one fateful night. Can I have a medium rare steak, 2 scrambled eggs, please no runny yolks, and do you have like cheese and some breakfast potatoes as well? Preferably with peppers and onions.
The server stares at you as you snap out of your reverie, and her eyes travel between you and Lumièra and back to you, and she just goes, "Uh-huh. Yeah, we can make that happen. Sorry, what was
Thank
that?
you.
Like cheese? Yeah, we could. Yeah, sure. Okay, we'll put some cheese on that. Yeah, no problem.
Cheese, breakfast potatoes, peppers and onions, please, thanks.
Okay, whatever you want, lover boy. All right.
Oh,
And
then-
what?
Immediately as the waiter says lover boy, and Lumièra just is like, can I have like the regular full diner breakfast, bread, butter, sunny side up eggs, but I need like 4 of them, 4 sausage links, 6 strips of bacon, and some hash browns, please.
Yeah, sure. I can give you all
a very
that.
big side of pancakes, extra syrup.
Absolutely. Whatever you want. And what about you? And the waiter turns over to Yinghe, who is sitting there looking delighted. This entire time, Yinghe has looked overwhelmed, yes, but also delighted. Like they're on a trip somewhere, a vacation somewhere that they've never been before. Their eyes are completely lit up, the moon-colored irises sparkling. They say, "Oh, my, I don't know, all of that sounds really good. Do you have any just grilled meats, please? I would like something grilled, something meaty on a skewer, and I will also have a side of that steak, and I also have a side of those eggs, and I will also have some of those pancakes, please. A little bit of each. Oh, and a little bit of the curry rice." So you just want everything doubled? Do you want anything for yourself? No, that's fine, just everything doubled. That sounds great. Okay, all right, and what do you all have to drink?
Water.
Pink lemonade, please.
Okay, pink lemonade. Yeah, sure. All right, you
Iced
funny
coffee
guy.
with-
I'll put you down for a soda. Iced coffee? Yeah, sure.
What?
Sure. A soda.
You have water?
Okay, look, the joke is a little less funny the second time around, okay? Because I was, kind of able to see it coming. The element of surprise is kind of what makes that joke work. Water. What do you have? I'll have milk? Oh, yeah, sure. I'll get you a glass of milk. All right, I'll be right out with your orders. And the server goes.
Thanks.
You can see the wheels in Xainan's head spinning very suddenly. Everywhere we've gone, as long as you've known him, every plane, water.
I would like to ask the next question to Xainan. I will now play the 10 of clubs. Hey Xainan, as you're clocking through this reverie of all these questions, how can I get through to you?
Xainan is on mission again. That conversation with Kimani gave him what felt like his feet again. And you know that when he's on a mission, it takes focus away from practically everything else. But Seir, you being vulnerable with Xainan has always baited him in. Maybe not always brought the most out of him, but needing him, asking him for things, asking him for help on anything. He's usually there pretty quickly. And as he is working through a problem that looks like he is doing trigonometry in his head without a calculator, he is thinking, looking for something to chew on, looking for the next question, like the questions that drove us out of Inferno, away from trans.
Hey, old man.
Huh.
What do you think of... What's your assessment of this diner? You think we are gonna deal with rough company soon? Or can we just wait this out?
I don't know why Kimani brought us here, but I don't know. Seems like they got a lot of food. Maybe we run after we eat.
We'll run after we eat.
Samm, you're muted.
I am indeed muted. Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna go ahead and play my first card. One of the 3 jokers that I pulled.
What?
Three? Hold on. 3
You
jokers?
heard what I said. You heard what I said. 3.
That doesn't seem possible. You should only have 2 in your deck.
One of 2.
Some
Mine
decks
has
have
4.
4 jokers.
Some decks
Yeah,
have
some
four.
games-
Yeah,
That's
some
on-
games have
okay.
4. Mine
That's
has
on me
4.
for not clarifying how many. That's on
fine.
me as a
I can
designer
get
for
rid
not
of it 'cause
clarifying.
I thought it was really.
You know what? That's way too many.
So
Yeah.
powerful. I was
It's all
like,
good.
I'm so
Why don't you just-
powerful.
That's way too many jokers. Why don't you discard one and draw a new one? But play your joker.
Oh, I'm still gonna do it. Yeah, but I'm gonna discard. I'm
still
definitely gonna
scared.
discard the other one. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm still gonna ask the question I was gonna ask, and this goes to Xainan Esch. I'm gonna play the 4 spades. What buried pain of yours do I glimpse?
He is kind of trying to wait for this food. And you see he's hungry, obviously. He's been hungry as long as you've known him, though. He's been hungry for belonging, for home. And he just left Inferno where he was so at home. Kuatoon brought out shades of him that you've never seen at Trans. He left behind Naeem, Diablo. in all of this thinking through the food, the water, where we are, getting here, etc., looking for a mission, he is running. He is running because he's just lost home in every meaningful way, just like the rest of us. But his way of looking is to hunt again, to look for something new. And so he is trying to solve a problem of why they don't have water and where we are. And he is chewing on it like a dog looking for meat on an empty bone.
Xainan, as you're turning over this question, this conundrum around in your mouth, as each of your strike team members are settling into the space and eagerly awaiting your food and drinks, it is at this precise moment that your party is interrupted. That you, Xainan, specifically, are interrupted. Not by a noise, or a gesture, or a polite tap on the shoulder, but by a punch to your jaw so fierce that you are sent flying out of your seat and onto the ground. You see stars. This punch is unrelenting, it is unforgiving, it is painful and resolute, and it is intimately, immediately, viscerally familiar. And as your vision focuses, a form swims into clarity above you, fist clenched, jaw set, and you look up into a face you haven't seen in 10 years. And we're gonna go to break there. Thank you all so much for tuning in so far to our Arc 3 interlude. We're gonna be back in just about 10 minutes. But in the meantime, Shpisho, Pisho.